Today's show is sponsored by the Electric Vehicle Association. Join up to support the electrification of transport and get the help you need to finance your own EV or clean energy future. And by Energy Sage. Visit the link in the description to find local verified solar experts, community projects, and heat pump specialists in your area. And by Atmos Financial. Bank better with a financial technology company that's powered by a portfolio of clean energy investments. Welcome back to another episode of TEN, Transport Evolved News. Thanks for joining me. Thanks also to everyone who dropped by last week at Everything Electric and said hello. It was great to see you all, and keep your eyes open for more content from the event in the coming weeks. If you've followed the automotive industry for any length of time, you'll know that it's pretty common for automakers to join forces to develop new technologies. And this week, GM and Hyundai surprised everyone by announcing the signing of a new Memorandum of Understanding targeted towards doing just that, with the initial agreement covering a pretty wide swathe of potential collaboration topics, including the co-development of passenger and commercial vehicles, battery and hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, and sadly also internal combustion engine vehicles. The MOU could extend to working on new battery technologies, we're told, but it's worth noting at this point that this is all very early days for both firms, and traditionally memorandums of understanding are rarely legally binding. The Kia EV9 has quite quickly gained popularity since its official production launch back in May. But while the EV9 is selling well in the US, it's not yet eligible for US federal tax incentives. That's because right now, while small numbers of EV9s are being made in the US, Kia is currently using battery cells sourced from overseas, meaning it's not eligible for the full US federal tax credit. This week, we learned that despite its popularity, Kia has opted to hold off on ramping up its EV production in the US until it's producing large enough volumes of US manufactured battery packs at a new facility due to go online in the second half of next year. In short, you'll still be able to buy an EV9, but the full incentives won't be available until models built include US-made battery packs. After several successful pilot programs across the US, Ford has officially launched the California Power Response Program for Ford EV owners who live in the state. Different from the vehicle-to-grid pilot programs currently in operation, which require both V2G equipped vehicles and charging stations, the new California Power Response Program leverages smart grid technology to allow Southern California Edison and PG&E to pause charging of enrolled customers' cars during periods of high grid demand, reducing grid strain and negating the need for heavily polluting peaker plants. Those who take part will be offered $1 in credits for every kilowatt hour of electricity not consumed during high demand periods, similar to a non-EV program we have here in Oregon, where I happen to be based. As we reported a few weeks ago, vertical takeoff and landing company Lilium has been contemplating moving its headquarters out of Germany due to a lack of governmental support. Now, in a bid to keep the company in the country, the German state of Bavaria, where Lilium is based, has offered the company €50 million in funding. But that funding promise comes with a catch. The German federal government must also make a similar investment. As of the time of filming, reports from Germany suggest that the German Federal Transportation Ministry is welcoming of the idea, and it's promised to take the necessary steps to ensure it puts up its portion of the funds. But as with all politics, the funding isn't a done deal until the money has been transferred, so we'll let you know when funding becomes official. We have long maintained that the best way to reduce emissions of personal transportation is to reduce our reliance on massive SUVs and pickup trucks, and new data from the US Department of Energy agrees. Its latest study shows that a small electric SUV with a 300-mile range produces 52% fewer emissions during its lifetime than a comparable gasoline-powered vehicle. The data includes vehicle production emissions, including battery production for EVs, and the emissions associated with with decommission at the end of life, using current US power grid mix emissions as a guideline. While this is a step in the right direction and it emphasises the need for more affordable, smaller EVs, we would also like to see an increase in public transit and planning that makes it easier to use micromobility as well. News outlets have been giving a lot of airtime in the last few months to supposed drops in EV sales around the world. But as we've covered time and time again, registration data disagrees. This week, new sales data for the European sales for last year shows that 14.6% of all newly registered cars in the European Union last year were battery electric, with Norway topping the charts with 81.2% of all of its new cars being battery electric. Denmark and Finland enjoyed market shares of 36.1% and 33.8% respectively, well above the EU average. Eastern European nations fared the least well, with Croatia, Slovakia and the Czech Republic languishing at the bottom of the list for EV adoption. While not in the EU, Iceland also enjoyed EV sales of 52.8%. Solid-state battery specialist Factorial Energy announced a new product this week in the form of Solstice, a new solid-state battery pack for EVs. Working alongside a key customer and development partner, Mercedes-Benz, the two companies say the new solid-state battery could increase EV range by 80% over current technology, thanks to the cell's increased energy density of 450 watt-hours per kilogram. As part of the announcement, Mercedes-Benz says it will begin testing Factorial batteries in its vehicles within the next few months, with the goal of bringing all solid-state battery packs to its production vehicles by 2030. If everything goes according to plan, this could lead to future Mercedes-Benz models with ranges in excess of 600 miles, which is nearly 1,000 kilometers per charge. Figuring out the best way to treat electric car batteries for long life has kept academics busy for quite a while, and every few months we hear of a new study related to best charging practices. This week we heard one that's been funded by Toyota's Research Institute and carried out by Stanford University that shows one of the best ways to ensure a long life for an EV battery pack is to ensure a battery pack's first charge is carried out at a higher than normal current, basically advocating for fast charging a battery pack for its first charge cycle. The paper turns on its head the notion that the first battery charge cycle should be gradual, arguing that charging a brand new battery pack with a high current helps form a healthy solid electrolyte interphase layer, or SEI, that can help protect the battery from premature aging. Think of it a little like seasoning that new cast iron frying pan or skillet before cooking your eggs and bacon. Just about 2 weeks ago, we told you about Xpeng's newest electric car, the Mona M03, and now we're hearing that demand is so high the company is already asking its suppliers to increase parts availability. A mid-size sedan, the Mona M03 has a starting price of 119,800 RMB, which is about $16,815 equivalent. That's driven incredible demand for the model, with it securing 10,000 orders in the first 2 minutes and 30,000 pre-orders in the first 48 hours. To ensure it can actually produce all of those cars, Xpeng is now asking its suppliers to bolster their parts production to ensure it can both increase production from its original planned levels and also ensure customers aren't waiting around for months for their new car. Watch this space. And finally for the segment, the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety is one of the 2 crash test organizations in the US that consumers generally look to for crash test results when buying a new vehicle. This week, the organization published its 2024 model year ratings, detailing the vehicles it's tested, and this year, only one of the various EV pickups on sale in the US managed to win the coveted Top Safety Pick Plus award, the Rivian R1T. But before you get too excited, it's worth noting that of all of the electric pickup trucks currently in the marketplace, Only the Rivian R1T has been tested to date by the IIHS. The Tesla Cybertruck hasn't, to my knowledge, nor has the F-150 Lightning, the Silverado EV, or in fact, any other commercially available electric pickups. Context is, as they say, queen, and if none of its rivals have been tested yet, Rivian will naturally stand alone despite its good results. Our shorts are coming in a second, but first, a quick word from a long-time sponsor of the channel, Energy Sage. Energy Sage helps homeowners connect with local verified solar installers across the US and now heat pump specialists in select markets who really know their stuff and can help you navigate the process of installing solar panels, help you join a community solar program, or in fact get a heat pump installed. We used Energy Sage when we were looking for installers willing to help us put solar panels on the roof of our home, and our Energy Sage verified installers were professional, knowledgeable, and even put us in touch with an amazing credit union that allowed us to finance our solar panels for as low a monthly payment as possible. Follow the links below to sign up for either of Energy Sage's free, no-obligation services and get that ball rolling today. If you choose to use an Energy Sage installer for your project, we will also get a small referral fee, so you'll be helping us too. Help the grid get greener, save money, and support the channel. It's a win-win-win. And now, it's time for shorts. Volkswagen has recalled all ID4 models in North America to address an issue with electric door latches that could unexpectedly pop open. There are no injuries related to the issue, but Volkswagen has 135 warranty claims open caused by the fault. New used EV sales prices show that used EV prices, specifically for the Tesla Model 3, Nissan Leaf and Chevrolet Bolt EV, are falling. IC Cars recently published a study showing that those EVs are depreciating up to 6 times faster than comparable gasoline ones. Volkswagen has officially decided to shelve plans for 2 battery production lines at its Salzgitter facility, deciding instead to only build 1 battery production line for the time being. It has been making adjustments to its EV production goals in recent weeks. Germany's first fleet of hydrogen fuel cell electric trains in Lower Saxony are struggling to remain in service after it has become apparent that the train operator cannot get a steady supply of hydrogen fuel for use on the trains. Instead, it's using diesel trains on the route. Scottish Power has announced a new programme called EV Optimise for its EV driving customers that's designed to reward customers who allow it to leverage smart grid technology to pause and start charging their cars in response to grid demand. Lithium Australia has signed a new battery recycling agreement with BYD Auto that will see BYD's Australian subsidiary work with Lithium Australia to recycle large-format lithium-ion batteries from customers' cars at the end of the car's life. The initial program will last for 3 years. Meanwhile, BYD's European counterpart has been given the go-ahead to establish its first European manufacturing facility in Turkey. The Turkish government has given BYD its official blessing, which will see BYD invest up to $1 billion equivalent into the Turkish economy. Tesla's FSD rollout on Hardware 3-enabled cars is reportedly causing concern among some Tesla owners with Hardware 3 vehicles. Despite promising FSD-supervised V12.5, Tesla has yet to push it to all Hardware 3 vehicles, and some Tesla customers are asking why Tesla is stalling. Hardware limitations are thought to be to blame. General Motors is allegedly in talks with CATL over using its battery packs in future GM vehicles. While the deal has yet to be confirmed outside of Bloomberg speculative reporting, it is expected the deal would include CATL establishing a US production facility in partnership with GM. BMW has announced that it intends to work with Toyota to launch a series production hydrogen fuel cell vehicle in 2028. While BMW remains all in on battery electric, it has been working with Toyota on FCV technology for many years. Hot on the heels of the official global launch of the EX90 SUV, Volvo has teased a 17-second video showcasing its next all-electric vehicle to launch, the ES90 sedan. Due to launch early next year in Sweden, it will share much of the EX90's underpinnings. The United Auto Workers has confirmed that a battery manufacturing facility jointly owned by GM and LG Energy Solutions has agreed to become a union facility. Located in Tennessee, it will be the second unionized Ultium LLC battery cell production facility in the USA. The US White House has announced a request for information from the automotive industry pertaining to EV charging and infrastructure when it comes to medium and heavy-duty electric vehicles. Comments must be received by the middle of November. Sticking with charging, EVGo, in collaboration with General Motors, has announced an expansion of their existing partnership that will see 400 fast charging stations deployed at, quote, flagship destinations across major metropolitan areas in the US. The Electric Avenue team has set a new world record travelling from Los Angeles to New York in a Lucid Air Grand Touring. They were able to cover the 2,806 miles using only 7 charging stops over 44 hours, 40 minutes. BYD has quietly upgraded its Han electric sedan to a brand new system architecture. Unlike previous model years, which included a 400-volt battery architecture, all new Han sedans will roll off the production line with an 800-volt battery. StoreDot has announced that it now is applying its battery cell technology to prismatic cell production. Previously, StoreDot had focused on pouch cell technology, but it now says it's working on prismatic battery cells suitable for use in EV battery packs with the same 10-minute claimed recharge to 80%. The latest EV index from HERE Technologies and SBD Automotive places Denmark as the new leader in European EV adoption in 2024 based on infrastructure, incentive and support. Denmark scored 76.7 out of a possible 100 points for this calendar year. Lucid has confirmed that while pre-production Lucid Gravity SUVs coming off the production line will feature CCS charging inlets, it intends to switch to NACS for 2025 model year series production. It will include a newly located charge port door on the rear of the vehicle. Ford has filed a new patent concerning the alignment of inductive charging coils mounted on the underside of an EV in motion. This suggests Ford is actively seeking to develop and possibly deploy dynamic wireless charging capabilities in future vehicles. Dacia has confirmed that its Spring EV will get a sizable price cut in the UK as part of a limited time incentive offer. Until the end of September, Dacia will offer an additional £500 sterling off the cost of its entry-level Spring EV when ordered during the period, as well as offering preferential finance. Chevrolet's Equinox EV has been given official approval by the South Korean government to begin sales in the nation. The EV is due to have its official Korean launch event in the coming weeks, allowing GM to go head-to-head against the Ioniq 5 in its home market. Tesla has confirmed that it will be offering battery armor and rock sliders for Tesla Cybertrucks as a retrofit option by the end of this year. While the Tesla Cybertruck isn't the first vehicle you'd think of being off-road going, we've already seen plenty take to the trails. Kia has confirmed that it's readying 2 new variants of the EV3 crossover. While it's not yet to go on sale in all markets, the company says it's planning an all-wheel drive variant as well as a GT variant, following in the tyre tracks of the Kia EV6 and Kia EV9. While Jeep has promised that its all-electric Wagoner S will launch in the US this coming autumn, it's now possible that vehicle could be delayed. According to the company CEO talking this week, if the car isn't perfect, the launch will be pushed back until it is. Lucid has teased a new mysterious image on X that it's its next vehicle. It's a mid-size electric SUV. While we don't have more than a silhouette to go on right now, there's certainly vibes of a Porsche Macan based on what we can see, which honestly isn't all that much. A new survey suggests that only 4 US states actually have an adequate number of EV charging stations appropriate to the number of EVs within their borders: Delaware, Massachusetts, Nevada, and Connecticut. The rest have woefully inadequate charging infrastructure given their EV-owning population. To encourage Tesla owners to dump their Teslas and switch to one of its vehicles, Kia is now offering up to $9,000 off list price for the EV6 and EV9 for existing Tesla customers. Of course, to be eligible, you need to either own or lease a Tesla. The Japanese government has approved Toyota's plan for building a new solid-state battery production facility. According to the now approved plans, Toyota wants to begin solid-state production by 2026, ramping up production volumes slowly after. As anti-EV FUD spreads, we're starting to see plug-in hybrids, which some automakers are eagerly promoting as an alternative to an EV, soar in price. On average, in July, plug-in hybrids were selling for more than $4,000 more than an electric vehicle due to increased demand. Peter Rawlinson, CEO of Lucid, has confirmed that Lucid currently has no desire to bring an all-electric pickup to its portfolio. According to Peter Rawlinson, there's no business case for an electric truck using the technology currently available to Lucid. Electrek reported this week that it believes Tesla is starting to wind down its Cybertruck wrapping service. The company now offers fewer choices than it used to, with fewer availability compared to previous months. It seems Tesla would rather customers go to third-party providers for paint wraps. Northvolt is undergoing what it's calling a, quote, strategic review, end quote, that could lead to company-wide restructuring and significant job losses. It's already decided to suspend cathode active material production at one of its facilities. Watch this space. Meanwhile, one of Tesla's battery partners, Panasonic, has announced that it's finished its preparations at its Japanese production facility to begin manufacturing large format 4680 form factor battery cells. It's reached readiness far more quickly than many of its rivals. GM is said to be working on a new endurance mode for electric vehicles that will allow them to maximize range over pace. It's described in a patent application that's come to light and is explicitly designed to be used on the racetrack in EV racing applications. California has just lost its place atop the US utility-scale solar capacity charts, ousted by Texas. The Lone Star State now has nearly 22,000 megawatts of online solar power generation from utility-scale solar farms throughout the region. Good job. Elon Musk denied this week reporting from the Wall Street Journal that suggests his privately owned AI startup xAI was in negotiations to share FSD revenue with Tesla. Musk said he did not read the article, but reiterated he believed the reporting was false. And finally for the segment, the US National Park Service has officially started using electric shuttle buses at Zion National Park, allowing visitors to the park the ability to travel between the local town of Springdale and the Zion Canyon. Completely emissions-free. And those are your shorts. There will be more next week. Our final two stories are next, but first a quick word from a friend of the channel, Atmos Financial. Imagine a bank where your savings not only grow, but also go towards growing a greener world. That is exactly what Atmos Financial does for you. With Atmos, every dollar in your checking and savings account is funding projects that light up lives with solar energy rather than fossil fuels. Atmos is banking that builds a better tomorrow with every swipe of your card today, because it's 100% committed into investing in clean, equitable and sustainable progress. There's a 3.5% savings rate and a mobile app, so your finances and the climate can go hand in hand. It charges no monthly fees and there are no minimums keeping you awake at night, and it offers accessible solar loans for those who wants to give the fossil fuel industry the ultimate middle finger. By joining Atmos using the link below, you're not only choosing a smarter way to bank, you're planting seeds for a healthier Earth. And since every sign-up supports this channel, it means we can keep bringing you the content you love. I am personally a customer and I love knowing that I'm helping save money while also making sure that my money doesn't end up funding the fossil fuel industry. And as always, thanks to Atmos for sponsoring the show. And now it's time for those last two stories. Kiwi firm VAS EV from Auckland, Aotearoa, New Zealand has officially launched its VS9 hydrofoil boat. Designed to lift out of the water, thus reducing water disturbance and improving energy efficiency, the firm has just completed its first VS9 with plans to bring future models into commercial operation with Fuller's 360, the country's largest ferry operator. VAS EV says that its VS9 can be built as a tourist vessel or be used as a full passenger ferry and can reach a top speed of 25 knots. Recharging can take place at either a marina plug or from a dedicated DC fast charging station, when it can then add 0.8 nautical miles of range per minute. While the VS9 has a limited payload, the firm says it's already working on a larger version called the VS18 that will accommodate up to 100 passengers. And finally, we're off to the auctions to finish today's show with not one, but two very interesting vehicle auctions set to take place. The first is in the Netherlands, where a pristine example of the oh-so-limited production Lightyear Zero solar electric car, chassis number 001, is being auctioned off. Right now, the solar electric car, which used to have a $250,000 price tag, is currently listed for less than the cost of an average mid-size EV, but we can expect that price to go up quite a bit before the hammer finally falls. In related news, and almost half a world away, Cadillac has confirmed that the very first series production Cadillac Escalade IQ is heading to the auction block in Detroit. Following a long line of GM vehicles to go under the hammer in a similar way, VIN 001 will be sold in aid of Detroit's Children's Fund. And on that note, we are done with today's show. As always, a massive thank you to the Electric Vehicle Association for sponsoring today's show. They've been advocating for EVs since 1967 and firmly believes our future depends on us making the switch to clean, green electric cars today. The EVA can help you find someone near to you that can help you make that switch to electric. It can help you become an EV educator, and it can point you in the direction of monthly meetups for like-minded EV fans. Plus, if you become a member, you'll gain access to a clean energy and EV loan program set up between the EVA and the Colorado Clean Energy Credit Union. You can find out more by heading to myeva.org. And if that's not enough, don't forget it's soon going to be National Drive Electric Week, with tons of great events taking place organised by Plug-in America, the EVA, the Sierra Club, EV Hybrid Noir, and Drive Electric USA. And thanks to Energy Sage. Follow the link below to find out how easy it can be to get verified, trustworthy solar experts helping you make the step towards energy self-sufficiency through solar on the roof of your home by joining a community solar project, or in fact by getting a heat pump installed. And thanks to Atmos Financial, bank better by following the link below. And if you are someone who made your own transportation or energy greener this week, whatever it was, congratulations! If you'd like to support the channel directly, please consider supporting us from just $1 a month on Patreon, which is about $10.08 a year, or by visiting our swag store. We are viewer supported because we believe the information we produce should be free to everyone, so if you support, thank you. Sadly, our recent trip to Canada saw us with more than $1,000 of disputed Airbnb nonsense that we are still fighting, due to a listing that was actually dangerous and unsanitary. So if you are donating, really, you make all of this possible. We'll be back next week as usual with content going out every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. And to finish, remember that you are valid and loved, and you have a place in this world, regardless of what rich idiots, religious zealots, presidential candidates, large companies and greedy politicians say. Know that your existence is resistance, and that resistance, if you are able, can be bolstered by making sure you're registered to vote this year if you are in the US, or in fact, if there is an election where you live elsewhere in the world. It's part of the democratic process to have your say, regardless of where you live and whom you vote for. So, until next time, stay safe, regardless of your identity or who you love. Be an amazing ally, be kind, and please, for the sake of everyone's future, keep evolving.